I just pulled the latest financial data for 2026, and honestly, I'm shocked. The average American household is bringing in $81,000 a year, spending $77,000, and saving only $4,000. That's $333 a month in savings. But it gets worse. 37% of people can't cover a $400 emergency without going into debt. Today, I'm breaking down every single financial statistic of the average American, and I need you to compare yourself as we go through this, because the gap between what people think is normal and what's actually happening is absolutely massive. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start with income. The median household income in America right now is approximately $81,000 per year. That's household income, not individual. The median individual income is only about $48,000. So if you're making $50,000 or more by yourself, you're actually above average. If you're making $75,000 individually, you're in the top 25% of earners. If you're making $100,000, you're in the top 18%. So all those people telling you that six figures isn't a lot of money anymore, they're wrong. The vast majority of Americans never hit six figures in their entire career. Now let's talk about spending. The average American household is spending about $77,000 per year, with median income at $81,000 and spending at $77,000. The average household is saving about $4,000 a year. That's $333 a month. Most people are living with almost no margin. Here's where that money goes. Housing costs eat up about 33% of income. That's $2,250 a month on rent or mortgage, insurance, property taxes, maintenance. Transportation is the second biggest expense at 16% of income, about $1,083 a month. The average car payment right now is $738 per month. People are spending nearly as much on their car as some people spend on rent. Food takes another 12% of income, about $808 per month. Healthcare runs about $5,400 a year. After all these expenses, the average savings rate is only about 5%, and that includes retirement contributions. Now let's talk about debt. The average American household has about $145,000 in total debt. Mortgage debt averages $244,000 for those who have one. Student loan debt averages $58,000 per borrower. Credit card debt is averaging $6,500 per household, and with interest rates at 22%, this debt is crushing people. Auto loan debt averages about $24,000 per borrower, with people financing cars for 72 months, even 84 months now. When you add it all up, the average American household is carrying $145,000 in debt, while the median household income is only $81,000. People are in debt almost double their annual income. Now let's talk about savings. 37% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing money or selling something. Not $1,000, not $5,000, just $400. More than 1 in 3 people would be completely derailed by a minor car repair. The median savings account balance in America is about $8,000. That's the median, which means half of people have less than that. The average person under 35 has about $3,200 in savings. People in their 40s have around $4,500. Even people in their 50s only have about $8,000 saved on average. We're talking about people a decade away from retirement with less than $10,000 in the bank. Now, retirement savings. The median retirement account balance for all working-age households is $87,000. Financial advisors say you need about 10 times your annual income saved by retirement. So if you're making $81,000, you should have around $810,000 saved by age 67. The median American has $87,000. That's not even close. People in their 30s have a median retirement balance of about $18,800. People in their 40s have around $45,000. People in their 50s have about $117,000. And people in their 60s who are about to retire have a median of $164,000. Think about that. The median person approaching retirement has $164,000 saved. If they withdraw 4% per year, that's $6,560 annually. Add in Social Security at about $22,800 per year, and you're looking at a total retirement income of about $29,000 per year. That's a massive drop from the $81,000 they were making while working. And 1 in 4 Americans has zero retirement savings. Nothing. They're 100% reliant on Social Security. Now let's talk about net worth. The median net worth for American households is about $192,000, but that includes home equity. If you take out home equity and just look at liquid net worth, the median drops to about $51,000. People under 35 have a median net worth of about $39,000. People in their 40s have around $135,000. People in their 50s have about $247,000, and people in their 60s have around $266,000. These are medians, which means half of people have less. To be in the top 10% of net worth in America, you need about $1.9 million. To be in the top 1%, you need $11.1 million. Only about 8% of American households have a net worth over $1 million, excluding their primary residence. About 66% of Americans own their homes. The average homeowner still owes about $244,000 on their mortgage, and the median home value is around $417,000. So the average homeowner has about $173,000 in home equity, but they can't access that without selling the house or taking out a loan. Now, the wealth gap. The bottom 50% of Americans hold only 2% of total wealth. The top 10% hold about 70% of all wealth, and the top 1% hold about 32% of all wealth. In 1989, the top 1% held about 23% of wealth. Now it's 32%. The rich are getting richer, and the middle class is getting squeezed. Here's what's really interesting. When you compare these numbers to what people think is normal, there's a massive disconnect. Most people think the median household income is around $100,000. It's actually $81,000. People think the average American has $20,000 to $30,000 saved. Most have under $8,000. This is because of social media, what we see online, the people we follow. Everyone looks rich online. But the data shows that most of those people are in debt. They're financing everything. They're broke with a good Instagram feed. So here's what you need to know. If you're making $50,000 or more individually, you're above average. If you're making $75,000, you're doing really well. If you're making $100,000, you're in the top fifth of earners. If you have $10,000 in savings in an emergency fund, you're ahead of most people. If you have $50,000 in retirement savings and you're in your 30s, you're way ahead. If you have $100,000 in net worth and you're under 40, you're crushing it. You don't need to be a millionaire to be financially secure, but you do need to be aware of where you actually stand. The people who are winning financially aren't necessarily making the most money. They're the ones who are saving consistently, investing early, avoiding consumer debt, and living below their means. If you're feeling behind, understand that most people are behind. The average American is not financially healthy, but that doesn't mean you have to stay average. Start with an emergency fund. Get to $1,000, then $5,000, then $10,000. Max out your employer 401k match. Start investing in a Roth IRA. Even $200 a month turns into over $500,000 in 30 years. Pay off high-interest debt. Credit cards at 22% are killing you. And stop comparing yourself to people on social media. Compare yourself to these numbers. Compare yourself to the actual average American. If these stats opened your eyes, hit that like button. Drop a comment and let me know which stat shocked you the most. And if you want more real data and real strategies to build wealth, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Now go check your numbers and see where you really stand.